In this video, we are going to share about the country and of course the archipelago that is known for everything from onsen hot springs and kabuki baths, dating to the 6th and 16th centuries, respectively, to all-night neon-lit dance parties, anime, and sushi boat restaurants, all of which are decidedly more modern. Hello. Hope you're doing well. This country we decided to talk about is famous for natural sights like cherry blossoms and Mount Fuji, cutting-edge technology like Japanese cars and bullet trains, wacky inventions like karaoke and vending machines, cultural values like politeness and punctuality, popular anime and manga, and mouth-watering food like ramen and sushi. This country is Japan. If you are interested in this kind of content, please subscribe to Farman's Life channel, and by pressing the bell on the side, you will be notified as soon as the next video is released. We are very glad that you are with us in this video. Japan is an island country in East Asia. It is situated in the Northwest Pacific Ocean and is bordered on the west by the Sea of Japan, extending from the Sea of Okhotsk in the north toward the East China Sea, Philippine Sea, and Taiwan in the south. Japan is a part of the Ring of Fire, and spans an archipelago of 14,125 islands covering 377,975 square kilometers. The five main islands are Hokkaido, Honshu, the mainland, Shikoku, Kyushu, and Okinawa. Tokyo is the nation's capital and largest city, followed by Yokohama, Osaka, Nagoya, Sapporo, Fukuoka, Kobe, and Kyoto. Japan is the 11th most populous country in the world, as well as one of the most densely populated and urbanized. About 3/4 of the country's terrain is mountainous, concentrating its population of almost 125 million on narrow coastal plains. Japan is divided into 47 administrative prefectures and 8 traditional regions. The Greater Tokyo area is the most populous metropolitan area in the world, with more than 37.2 million residents. Japan has been inhabited since the Upper Paleolithic period, 30,000 BC, though the first written mention of the archipelago appears in a Chinese chronicle, the Book of Han, finished in the 2nd century AD. Between the 4th and 9th centuries, the kingdoms of Japan became unified under an emperor and the imperial court based in Heiankyo. Beginning in the 12th century, political power was held by a series of military dictators, shogun, and feudal lords, daimyo, and enforced by a class of warrior nobility, samurai. After a century-long period of civil war, the country was reunified in 1603 under the Tokugawa shogunate, which enacted an isolationist foreign policy. In 1854, a United States fleet forced Japan to open trade to the West, which led to the end of the shogunate and the restoration of imperial power in 1868. In the Meiji period, the Empire of Japan adopted a Western-modeled constitution and pursued a program of industrialization and modernization. Amidst a rise in militarism and overseas colonization, Japan invaded China in 1937 and entered World War II as an Axis power in 1941. After suffering defeat in the Pacific War and 2 atomic bombings, Japan surrendered in 1945 and came under a 7-year Allied occupation, during which it adopted a new constitution and began a military alliance with the United States. Under the 1947 Constitution, Japan has maintained a unitary parliamentary constitutional monarchy with a bicameral legislature, the National Diet. Japan is a developed country and a great power. It is a member of numerous international organizations, including the United Nations, G20, OECD, and the Group of Seven. Its economy is the world's third largest by nominal GDP and the fourth largest by PPP, with its per capita income ranking at 36th highest in the world. Although Japan has renounced its right to declare war, the country maintains self-defense forces that rank as one of the world's strongest militaries. After World War II, Japan experienced record growth in an economic miracle, becoming the second largest economy in the world by 1972 but has stagnated since 1995 in what is referred to as the lost decades. Japan has the world's highest life expectancy, though it is experiencing a population decline. A global leader in the automotive, robotics and electronics industries, the country has made significant contributions to science and technology. The culture of Japan is well known around the world, including its art, cuisine, film, music, and popular culture, which encompasses prominent manga, anime, and video game industries. Contemporary Japanese culture combines influences from Asia, Europe, and North America. Traditional Japanese arts include crafts such as ceramics, textiles, lacquerware, swords and dolls, performances of bunraku, kabuki, no, dance, and rakugo, and other practices, the tea ceremony, ikebana, martial arts, calligraphy, origami, onsen, geisha, and games. Japan has a developed system for the protection and promotion of both tangible and intangible cultural properties and national treasures. 22 sites have been inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List, 18 of which are of cultural significance. Japan is considered a cultural superpower. Traditionally, sumo is considered Japan's national sport. Japanese martial arts such as judo and kendo are taught as part of the compulsory junior high school curriculum. Baseball is the most popular spectator sport in the country. Japan's top professional league, Nippon Professional Baseball, NPB, was established in 1936. Since the establishment of the Japan Professional Football League, J-League, in 1992, association football gained a wide following. The country co-hosted the 2002 FIFA World Cup with South Korea. Japan has one of the most successful football teams in Asia, winning the Asian Cup 4 times, and the FIFA Women's World Cup in 2011. Golf is also popular in Japan. In motorsport, Japanese automotive manufacturers have been successful in multiple different categories, with titles and victories in series such as Formula One, MotoGP, and the World Rally Championship. Drivers from Japan have victories at the Indianapolis 500 and the 24 Hours of Le Mans, as well as podium finishes in Formula One, in addition to success in domestic championships. Super GT is the most popular national racing series in Japan, while Super Formula is the top-level domestic open-wheel series. The country hosts major races such as the Japanese Grand Prix. Japan hosted the Summer Olympics in Tokyo in 1964 and the Winter Olympics in Sapporo in 1972 and Nagano in 1998. The country hosted the official 2006 Basketball World Championship and will co-host the 2023 Basketball World Championship. Tokyo hosted the 2020 Summer Olympics in 2021, making Tokyo the first Asian city to host the Olympics twice. The country gained the hosting rights for the official Women's Volleyball World Championship on 5 occasions, more than any other nation. Japan is the most successful Asian rugby union country and hosted the 2019 IRB Rugby World Cup. Japan comprises 14,125 islands extending along the Pacific coast of Asia. It stretches over 3,000 kilometers northeast-southwest from the Sea of Okhotsk to the East China Sea. The country's 5 main islands, from north to south, are Hokkaido, Honshu, Shikoku, Kyushu and Okinawa. The Ryukyu Islands, which include Okinawa, are a chain to the south of Kyushu. The Nanpo Islands are south and east of the main islands of Japan. Together they are often known as the Japanese archipelago. As of 2019, Japan's territory is 377,975.24 square kilometers. Japan has the 6th longest coastline in the world at 29,751. Because of its far-flung outlying islands, Japan has the 8th largest exclusive economic zone in the world, covering 4,470,000 square kilometers. The Japanese archipelago is 67% forests and 14% agricultural. The primarily rugged and mountainous terrain is restricted for habitation. Thus, the habitable zones, mainly in the coastal areas, have very high population densities. Japan is the 40th most densely populated country. Honshu has the highest population density at 450 persons/km2 as of 2010, while Hokkaido has the lowest density of 64.5 persons/km2 as of 2016. As of 2014, approximately 0.5% of Japan's total area is reclaimed land, Umadateki. Lake Biwa is an ancient lake and the country's largest freshwater lake. Japan is substantially prone to earthquakes, tsunami, and volcanic eruptions because of its location along the Pacific Ring of Fire. It has the 17th highest natural disaster risk as measured in the 2016 World Risk Index. Japan has 111 active volcanoes. Destructive earthquakes, often resulting in tsunami, occur several times each century. The 1923 Tokyo earthquake killed over 140,000 people. More recent major quakes are the 1995 Great Hanshin earthquake and the 2011 Tohoku earthquake, which triggered a large tsunami. The climate of Japan is predominantly temperate but varies greatly from north to south. The northernmost region, Hokkaido, has a humid continental climate with long, cold winters and very warm to cool summers. Precipitation is not heavy, but the islands usually develop deep snowbanks in the winter. In the Sea of Japan region on Honshu's west coast, northwest winter winds bring heavy snowfall during winter. In the summer, the region sometimes experiences extremely hot temperatures because of the Fane. The Central Highland has a typical inland humid continental climate, with large temperature differences between summer and winter. The mountains of the Chugoku and Shikoku regions shelter the Seto Inland Sea from seasonal winds, bringing mild weather year-round. The Pacific coast features a humid subtropical climate that experiences milder winters with occasional snowfall and hot, humid summers because of the southeast seasonal wind. The Ryukyu and Nanpo Islands have a subtropical climate, with warm winters and hot summers. Precipitation is very heavy, especially during the rainy season. The main rainy season begins in early May in Okinawa, and the rain front gradually moves north. In late summer and early autumn, typhoons often bring heavy rain. According to the Environment Ministry, heavy rainfall and increasing temperatures have caused problems in the agricultural industry and elsewhere. The highest temperature ever measured in Japan, 41.1 degrees Celsius, was recorded on July 23, 2018, and repeated on August 17, 2020. Japan has the world's third largest economy by nominal GDP, after that of the United States and China, and the fourth largest economy by PPP. As of 2020, Japan's labor force is the world's 8th largest, and consists of 66.5 million workers. As of 2021, Japan has a low unemployment rate of around 2.8%. Its poverty rate is the second highest among the G7 nations, and exceeds 15.7% of the population. Japan has the highest ratio of public debt to GDP among advanced economies, with national debt estimated at 248% relative to GDP as of 2022. The Japanese yen is the world's third largest reserve currency after the US dollar and the euro. Japan was the world's fourth largest exporter and importer in 2021. Its exports amounted to 15.6% of its total GDP in 2020. As of 2019, Japan's main export markets were the United States, 19.8%, and China, 19.1%. Its main exports are motor vehicles, iron and steel products, semiconductors, and auto parts. Japan's main import markets as of 2019 were China, 23.5%, the United States, 11%, and Australia, 6.3%. Japan's main imports are machinery and equipment, fossil fuels, foodstuffs, chemicals, and raw materials for its industries. The Japanese variant of capitalism has many distinct features. Keiretsu enterprises are influential, and lifetime employment and seniority-based career advancement are common in the Japanese work environment. Japan has a large cooperative sector, with 3 of the world's 10 largest cooperatives, including the largest consumer cooperative and the largest agricultural cooperative as of 2018. It ranks highly for competitiveness and economic freedom. Japan ranked 6th in the Global Competitiveness Report in 2019. It attracted 31.9 million international tourists in 2019, and was ranked 11th in the world in 2019 for inbound tourism. The 2021 Travel and Tourism Competitiveness Report ranked Japan first in the world out of 117 countries. Its international tourism receipts in 2019 amounted to $46.1 billion. In the following, we will examine the 5 countries that have the most trade relations with Japan. Number 1. Japan and China. China is now Japan's biggest trading partner, with the total value of trade having grown by about 113 times since 1972 to 38.4 trillion yen in 2021, according to data released by the Finance Ministry. In 2020, Japan exported $133 billion to China. The main products that Japan exported to China are cars, machinery having individual functions, and integrated circuits. In 2020, China exported $151 billion to Japan. The main products that China exported to Japan were computers, broadcasting equipment, and other cloth articles. Number 2. Japan and Korea. Japan and South Korea are neighbors, and they are both major non-NATO allies of the United States in East Asia. Despite this, the relationship between the two states has greatly deteriorated in recent years, characterized by strong mutual distrust and a number of disputes. In 2020, South Korea exported $25.1 billion to Japan. The main products that South Korea exported to Japan are refined petroleum, silver, and integrated circuits. In 2020, Japan exported $42.9 billion to South Korea. The main products that Japan exported to South Korea were photo lab equipment, integrated circuits, and machinery having individual functions. Number 3. Japan and U.S. goods and services trade with Japan totaled an estimated $252.2 billion in 2020. Exports were $102.1 billion, imports were $150.1 billion. The U.S. goods and services trade deficit with Japan was $48.0 billion in 2020. Japan is currently our fourth largest goods trading partner with $183.6 billion in total, two-way, goods trade during 2020. Goods exports totaled $64.1 billion, goods imports totaled $119.5 billion. The U.S. goods trade deficit with Japan was $55.4 billion in 2020. Trade and services with Japan, exports and imports, totaled an estimated $68.6 billion in 2020. Services exports were $38.0 billion, services imports were $30.6 billion. The U.S. services trade surplus with Japan was $7.4 billion in 2020. Japan was the United States' fourth largest goods export market in 2020. The top export categories in 2020 were mineral fuels, machinery, optical and medical instruments, aircraft, and electrical machinery. U.S. total exports of agricultural products to Japan totaled $11.8 billion in 2020, our fourth largest agricultural export market. Leading domestic export categories include beef and beef products, corn, pork and pork products, soybeans, and wheat. Japan was the United States' fourth largest supplier of goods imports in 2020. The top import categories in 2020 were vehicles, machinery, electrical machinery, optical and medical instruments, and pharmaceuticals. U.S. total imports of agricultural products from Japan totaled $831 million in 2020. Leading categories include baked goods, cereals, and pasta, distilled spirits, condiments and sauces, tea, and food preparations. Number 4. Japan and Thailand. Japan is among Thailand's oldest allies. This friendship, now in its 130th year of diplomatic relations, has survived both hard and prosperous times as the two nations joined hands to overcome struggles and enjoy successes on numerous occasions. In 2020, Japan exported $24.5 billion to Thailand. The main products that Japan exported to Thailand are motor vehicles, parts and accessories, integrated circuits, and hot-rolled iron. In 2020, Thailand exported $23.2 billion to Japan. The main products that Thailand exported to Japan were other prepared meat, broadcasting equipment, and cars. Number 5. Japan and Vietnam. The relationship between Vietnam and Japan is at its best ever, and the two countries have substantial potential and opportunities to expand and deepen their friendship and mutual trust. In 2020, Vietnam exported $20.4 billion to Japan. The main products that Vietnam exported to Japan are insulated wire, broadcasting equipment, and fuel wood. In 2020, Japan exported $16.1 billion to Vietnam. The main products that Japan exported to Vietnam were integrated circuits, scrap iron, and hot-rolled iron. Japan is a fascinating country with a long and rich history, filled with unique and interesting cultural customs. From its rich culinary culture to its breathtaking natural beauty, there is something for everyone to enjoy in Japan. With so much to see and do, it's no wonder why Japan is so well known around the world. Please support Farman's Life channel with your likes so that we have more enthusiasm to post more content. You can also comment your questions to us. If you like to watch and know more about this content, please subscribe to the channel, and by pressing the bell on the side, you will be notified as soon as a new video is released. Thank you for being with us.